Oma Gyan Timadandasya Ganan Gana Shalakaya Chaksurnimittam Jena Tasmai Si Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Shwayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadanti Svapadanti Kami Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhakti Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama. Our beloved Maharaj came in not late, but unexpected at that particular time. I don't think we honored him enough. Let's give Maharaj a big round of applause for being here. Me and Maharaj, we go way back to the time of the dinosaurs. No, not that far. Way back, he would come to participate in many of my festival programs in different parts of the world, and he always had this trumpet. I loved that trumpet, but I can't say more because he's not supposed to play it, but I always have a horn section, so maybe next time when my horn section is there, Maharaj can chip in, but thank you, Maharaj, for coming. We're old friends, old buddies, spreading the Sankirtan movement together. And thank you to all of you for coming this evening, many bright faces. Due, of course, to the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. Because Krishna is present in that mantra, it's the reservoir of all pleasure. So I thought I would speak briefly this evening about prayer. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Shmaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Bandham, Daksam, Sakyam, Atmanivedadam. We know there's 9 processes of devotional service. And the other day we spoke about chanting Hare Krishna, actually 2 times. So I thought I'd catch this particular aspect of our movement, prayer. And when we think of prayer, we often think like in our brothers and sisters, the Christian tradition, like that. But our prayers are much deeper because we know who we are, we know who is God, we know who is Krishna, and our prayers can be much more realized, much more deeper. And I chose a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, way up there. Chapter 29, verse 6. O my Lord, transcendental poets and experts in spiritual science could not fully express their indebtedness to you, even if they were endowed with the prolonged lifetime of Brahma. For you appear in 2 features, externally as the Acharya and internally as the Supersoul, to deliver the embodied living beings by directing them how to come to you. So maybe this is not such a popular prayer, but it's full of devotion for Krishna. And it's being offered to Krishna by the exalted devotee Uddhava. We all know Uddhava. Uddhava is one of Krishna's best friends in Dwarka, so much so that he empowered him to take a letter to the residents of Vrindavan after Krishna had been gone a long time ago. If you have an important function, really dear to you, you can't do it all, you entrust a most beloved person to carry on that function. So Krishna wrote a letter to the residents of Vrindavan. He'd been away for a long time and they were missing him. In Vrindavan, the residents of Vrindavan love Krishna more than anyone's been loved before. And Krishna loves the inhabitants of Vrindavan more than anyone's been loved before, because love is reciprocal. So how do we express our love? In many ways, the different aspects of service in Krishna consciousness, but especially through bandhanam. It's a prayer, we often say, chant from the heart in Kirtan. So a prayer is a very beautifully composed offering from the heart to Shri Krishna. This is called in Sanskrit again, bandhanam. And it's one of the essential 9 ingredients of devotional service. We hear from our acharyas that hearing and chanting about Krishna, remembering him, serving his lotus feet, worshiping the Lord, becoming his servant, considering him one's best friend, and surrendering everything. Now, different devotees have taken up those processes at heart, and they become perfected just by taking up one of those aspects of Krishna consciousness. Maharaj Parikshit, we all know him very well, he attained perfection by hearing, just hearing. It's so potent. One time I was sitting with Srila Prabhupada in Hyderabad on our farm outside the temple there. And we'd come with Prabhupada a long way from Kolkata by train, and it was summertime, and it was hot, and it was, I was very tired. We hadn't eaten that day, so Prabhupada gave a darshan to the local villagers just outside our temple complex under a banyan tree. So I was sitting right there with this devotee sitting, and Prabhupada was speaking in Hindi. I fell asleep. You do not want to fall asleep in front of your spiritual master when he's speaking. So devotees told me. So Prabhupada, he stopped the lecture. He said, why are you sleeping when I am speaking Hari Katha? Hare Krishna Shri Prabhupada. Why are you sleeping, Indradyumna? I don't speak Hindi. He said, that is not a problem. This is Shabda Brahma. This is transcendental sound. It will act on your heart. It will awaken your Krishna consciousness. Stay awake. Keep hearing. I never slept in a kirtan or class the rest of my life. That instruction from Prabhupada. So just by hearing, we can become fully Krishna conscious. Shukadev Goswami, he attained perfection by chanting or speaking. Prahlad Maharaj, he attained perfection by remembering the Lord. That's a very potent process. Always remember Krishna and never forget him. How can you always remember someone and never forget them? If you hate them or you love them. So we don't follow in the footsteps of Kamsa. He hated Krishna. He was so scared of Krishna. He knew Krishna was going to be his death. So he was always remembering him. But Rupa Goswami says not that type of remembrance, but rather the remembrance of the Brajabasis. They always remember and never forget Krishna out of love. So we have the perfect example of Prahlad Maharaj in the Bhagavatam. And the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, she attained perfection by worshiping the Lord's lotus feet. That's very nicely demonstrated, actually, in Sri Rangam. How many of you have been to Sri Rangam in South India? There's a beautiful deity of Ranganath, and he's actually lying down. It's interesting. Our deities are all standing, playing flute. Ranganath's lying down, and Lakshmi Devi is massaging his feet. It's an altar that's about, from that door there to the wall. So first you take darshan of the Lord's face, then you take darshan of his middle portion, and then you take darshan of his feet. And one time, Ramanujacharya, the great acharya of the Sri Sampradaya, that's their base, they worship Ranganath, he actually talked to the deity. He said, Ranganath, what happens if your devotee cannot remember you at the moment of death? There are two important junctures in our life, when we come into this world and when we leave this world. So what happens if your devotee, after so many years of chanting Hare Krishna, worshiping the deity, going on Sankirtan, can't remember you when he dies? The deity spoke. The deity is not different than Krishna. My dear Lord, you're not a statue. You're the son of Maharaj Nanda, the Brahman boy said in Vrindavan. So the deity replied, it's very important. If my devotee cannot remember me at the moment of death, I will remember my devotee. So Lakshmi Devi, she's there at the feet of that deity, Ranganath, massaging. Preeti Maharaj, she attained perfection by worshipping the deity of the Lord. Akrura, we talked about him yesterday. Akura, he attained perfection by offering prayers. Bandhanam. Hanuman by rendering service. Arjuna by establishing friendship. He was a friend of the Lord. And Bali Maharaj by offering everything to Krishna. But this bandhanam, this prayer, is an integral part of our devotional service as devotees. And we should learn this art. We should become expert at all these activities in Krishna consciousness. We don't want to be how does it say? No, one is good at all different trades, but master of none. Jack of all trades, master of none. We want to master every activity we do for Krishna. What does it mean to master it? It means to offer that activity with love, with devotion. That's Krishna consciousness. So this prayer, we should be always offering prayers. Even if we're just beginning devotees, we should offer prayers. And if we don't know exactly what to say, they come in front of the deity, well, the Swami said I'm supposed to offer prayers to you, Krishna, but I don't know what to say. Then you can memorize the prayers of great devotees, like Uddhava, Kunti Devi, and Prahlad Maharaj, and Dhruva, etc. Other people pray to God in unfortunate, well, not, you couldn't say the wrong way, because at least they're approaching the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They go to the temple, they go to the church, the mosque, and they pray for money, fame, material possessions, etc. But Prabhupada coined this analogy. He had many analogies, Prabhupada. Actually, it's very interesting. You can make a whole book. He said that's like approaching a Korapati. Many Hindus here. You know Korapati. Maybe we're born in America, I don't know. You approach a rich man who has crores of rupees or millions of Australian dollars, and you say, Prabhu, please, could you give me $10? You might as well, shoot for the rhinoceros. Can you give me $1 million so I can build a beautiful temple here in Sydney? Hint, hint. So like that, approaching the Lord for some material facility, it's not the best. Because any material desire we have, ultimately, it entangles us in this world. So we want to approach the Lord and just ask for pure devotional service. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. What's that prayer? It's in the mood of Nadanam Janana Sundarim Kavicham Vad Akadesha Kamaye Mama Janmani Ishwari Bhavatat Bhakti Ahaituki. Mahaprabhu said we should wear that verse like a garland around our neck. We have no desire for name and fame, for improper association with the opposite sex, for money. All we want is just your service, because we're by nature servants. Jivera Swapoya Krishnarya Nitya Das. We're just happy doing a little service for Krishna, because that's our nature. There's nothing greater than being the servant of a glorious master. I learned that from Lokanath Maharaj in one lecture. He said there's no greater thing than to become the servant of a glorious master. So that's all we ask for. We're not greedy for material things. We accept what's necessary to perform devotional service, but we don't pray like some people to the goddess Kali. And I've seen it. I spend much time in India. I see people, they go to the temple. Dhanam Dehi, Rupam Dehi, Rupavati, Bharyam Dehi. Some of you look like you know that mantra. Dhanam Dehi, Rupam Dehi, Rupavati, Bharyam Devi. Close your ears, boys, little children. Oh, worshipful Durga Devi, please give me wealth, strength, fame, a good wife, or handsome husband, and on and on and on and on. Because material desires can never be fully satisfied. No. Or worse is when some people go to the temple and they make a deal with God or the demigods. Lord, if you grant me this wish, this desire, I'll never tell lies again. I'll never smoke again, and I'll never quarrel with my wife again. You know, it happens in the Christian church, it happens in the mosque, it happens in, you're making a deal with Krishna. If you grant me this wish, I promise you I'll never swear again. That's like doing business with the Lord or the Deity. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. There's a story how once a devotee approached the goddess Kali, her deity, especially in Bengal, you see the deity of Kali being worshipped. She's very powerful, and she does grant your desires. That's what you want. So this devotee of Kali, he went to the temple and he prayed for a large sum of money to pay a debt. So she asked him, well, what are you going to offer me in return? Because this is the nature, love is supposed to be reciprocal. So if you want a lot of money to pay a debt, what are you going to offer me? So that devotee said, Mother Kali, I'll offer you a goat. She said, well, then go ahead and offer me a goat. But he said, I don't have a goat right now. I'll bring it later. This is not pure devotional service, making a deal. If you give me this, I'll stop swearing, I'll do good in school. No. You just ask for service, which is our utmost desire. So she said, okay, don't forget. So 2 weeks later, he came back and he prayed to her to cure his sick mother. She said, wait a minute, what about the goat? He said, I couldn't find the goat. So she said, this is a deity worship. You have to offer something. He said, okay, I'll bring you a chicken. These are Kali worshippers, not, Vaishnava. I'll give you a chicken. Just cure my mom. Where's the chicken? I don't have one now. So she said, well, okay, but remember to bring me a chicken. So, guess what? 2 weeks later, he came back and prayed to her, Kali, because she has this power actually. Help me get a new job. She said, what about the goat? What about the chicken? He said, I couldn't afford them. She said, I'm Kali, you have to offer something, at least a mosquito. So he said, okay, and she blessed him with a job. Then she said, where's the mosquito? And that rascal said, Mother Kali, mosquitoes are everywhere. Just take one yourself. I heard this story from Prabhupada. So not this type of worship. Amala Bhakti. Krishna's no poor man, Prabhupada said one time. If you become his devotee, he'll take care of you. What do you need? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again told us how to pray. Nadanam, najanam, nasundarim, kapicham, vajakadisha kamai, mama janmani, jamani, ishwari, bhavata, bhakti. I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women or handsome men, nor do I desire any number of followers or fame. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. And again, as I mentioned, that verse is so important. That prayer is the essence of all prayers. If that's the only prayer you know, we say in French, ça suffit. Vous parlez français? Ça suffit, it means that's enough. You just that one prayer, nadanam, najanam, nasundarim. You pray like that to your deity, that's enough because it says everything. I'm no longer interested in this material world, I just want your causeless devotional service. When Srila Prabhupada gave sannyas to my godbrother Satsavarup Maharaj, way back when, as he gave him the danda, he said, Maharaj, don't look back and think that you've left anything behind. And don't envy the position of the materialistic sense enjoyers. I also imbibed that in my heart. Never look back and think you've left anything behind. Keep looking forward, Eke Guru Nandana. And never envy the materialistic people who appear to be enjoying. It's not enjoying. They're smiling, but it's like, that advertisement, someone has some lady gets the job of holding up a toothpaste, like Colgate toothpaste, and smiling. This toothpaste is very good for you. This is fake. We have our happiness because we come in contact with the reservoir of all pleasure. Whenever we vibrate that transcendental sound, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And pray, reveal your heart in the proper way. Even if you don't have the desire, Prabhupada said, have the desire to have the right desire. So you can repeat those things. You can repeat those things. The prayers of great devotees, their prayers. And Krishna will hear. He's a Vigna Swarat. He's present everywhere, therefore he's all-knowing. And of course, he's the closest thing to your soul. He's the super soul in your heart. And you can also pray to great devotees, by whose mercy we learn how to practice Krishna consciousness. You can even pray to great saints, great rishis, great Mahabhagavatas, who appeared thousands or millions of years ago, like Vishishta Muni or Agastya Muni. You can pray to them. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was once asked, great saint, the devotee said, when we pray to the great devotees of the past, going back millions of years, and he quoted a few of those, Narada Muni, do they hear our prayers? And Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, yes, they hear your prayers and they reciprocate. This is Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the how would you say, the pioneer of the Krishna conscious movement in the modern age. He revived the movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How to apply it in the modern age, taken up by his son, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, and then our Srila Prabhupada. And now that is entrusted to all of us. A great soul. It's said that what a pure devotee says is as good as the Vedas. It's as good as the Vedas because he has that vigyan, he has that realization. It's not just knowledge. By the practice of his devotional service, he has wisdom, he has realizations. So whatever he says is as perfect as whatever is there in the Vedic literature. So he said, when you pray to Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Gaurakrishna Das Babaji, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Jagannath Das Babaji, Vishwanath Chakrabarti, Baladev Vijayabhusana, the Sadguru Swamis of Vrindavan, you go way back. There's so many great souls on the way, that disciplic succession back to Krishna. They hear you, and they'll reciprocate with you. And they will reciprocate with you. So we should learn this art. We can memorize the prayers that are there, especially in the Bhagavatam. For example, we want to develop this mood of love. Krishna consciousness is all about love for Hari, Guru, and Vaishnava. We're missing that love. We had it once, we lost it, and now studying Prabhupada's books and the teachings of our acharyas, we realize we have to revive that loving mood so we can repeat the prayers of devotees who have that love. And by that practice, Chaito Darbana Marjana, the heart becomes purified. And that love that's there within the heart, you don't have to look for it anywhere else. It's within your heart. It's like the lotus flower. In the darkness, the lotus flower is closed. But with the rising of the sunshine, it opens. So ignorance is compared to darkness. So if we're ignorant, we don't have that love. But knowledge is compared to light. So we have the knowledge of this process of praying, even just in an imitation way. Then that lotus of the heart will open, that love for Krishna will open. Imitation, but it's okay. Imitation's okay. How do babies learn to speak? Gaga goo goo. They imitate their parents. So we can imitate. We can't really pretend to be like the great devotees, but we can follow in their footsteps by just trying to be like them. It's accepted. One time a person criticized Prabhupada. Imagine criticizing Srila Prabhupada. He said, Swamiji, You're talking about bhakti, but bhakti is something very elevated. It's very elevated bhakti. You say your disciples are performing bhakti yoga or devotional service. They're just beginners. They don't have any devotion. They don't have any bhakti. And Prabhupada said, yes, they do. Even they're beginners. And he gave a wonderful analogy, because analogies help us understand difficult philosophical concepts. So this is a simple analogy. He said, sir, like mango, there's green mango and there's ripe mango, yellow mango. So the lady goes to the market to get some fruit for the family. She picks up the yellow mango, with the black spots. See, I know. You live in India, you learn a few things that's not in Shastra, but bona fide. So with the yellow mango, it's deep yellow and it has some black spots. I mean, it's ripe. It'll make a nice offering for Krishna. But then there's the green mango. But Prabhupada said green mango is also very valuable in our Vedic culture because you get achar. I love achar. And when I go back to my country and I meet some of my friends from my youth and I invite them for prasadam and they have the achar. Whoa, what's that? Achar. Better than salt and pepper. It brings out the taste. You get addicted to it. But it comes from green mango. So both the beginning mango and the ripe mango are valuable. So also devotion, even in the beginning, is very valuable. Krishna notices. I keep giving the example these last few weeks in my lectures, that the baby is in the crib and, she becomes uncomfortable or there's some danger coming. Mama! So she can hardly pronounce Mama's name. She doesn't even really know who Mama is. But because she cries in desperation, Mother gives up whatever else she's doing and she runs to take care of baby. So Krishna doesn't just hear the prayers of pure devotees. He's very interested in hearing the prayers of aspiring devotees. Oh my Lord, I'm drowning in this fathomless whirlpool of material existence. Oh, you who give shelter to the shelterless, please just this one time, Krishna, extend your hand to save me. It's from Padyavali by Rupa Goswami. This is aspiring devotee, praying for mercy, come into my life. Let me meet your devotees, let me meet your representative. This is the prayer of the devotee. So even though we're kind of like, we're all infants, we're all babies in our practice of Krishna accepts our service. And he's concerned about us, and he makes all the arrangements for us to come, be part of this great international society for Krishna consciousness. Your participation in this movement is not by destiny, it's by kripa. Like Shakespeare said, it falleth from heaven like a gentle rain upon the heads of those below. You didn't ask for it. Causeless mercy means you didn't do it. What are our qualifications? But here we are sitting, chanting the Yuga Dharma, refraining from sinful activity, respecting prasadam, living of a very high culture, the way we dress, the way we talk, the way we walk, not like ordinary. How is that possible? Causeless mercy. Guru and Garanga have entered our life. Brahmanda Brahmatikonya Bhagavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasad. Bhai Bhakti La Beach. Guru Krishna Prasad. One of Shivaram Maharaj's disciples, Gaurangi Dasi, I was present when Maharaj's disciples were having his Vyasa Puja. He was sitting there. And she said something that just struck my heart. In her offering, she said, Guru Maharaj, it took you so long to find me. Please never let me go. It brought tears to my eyes. Guru Maharaj, it took so long for you to find me. Never let me. We think, traditional way we go looking for Guru. Well, Guru is canvassing on behalf of Krishna. Stop your nonsense. Chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So we're babies muttering, trying our best to chant Hare Krishna, pronounce all the syllables, Keep your mind fixed on the mantra. Don't wander. We're trying. Krishna accepts. Just like the mother, the screams of the little baby, doesn't even know the mother. He comes, the mother comes. And that's applicable because Prabhupada, when he described this Maha Mantra, what did he say? This chanting of Hare Krishna is what? Just like the cry of a baby for its mother. So I've said it correctly. I've given the source. When you speak in learned circles, you have to be able to back up what you're saying by Shastric evidence. So whatever Prabhupada said is as good as Shastra. This chanting of Hare Krishna is like a baby calling for its mother. And you hear in Kirtan these days, chant from the heart. That's what it means. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay, it's mango. It's green. Krishna hears. And if he hears, don't turn your attention elsewhere. That's the 11th offense to the holy name described by Jiva Goswami. Inattentiveness. Like if you're speaking with someone, I used to do it. I remember when I was young, my mother would be giving me some instruction. I'm looking at the boys playing baseball, Look at me, son, I'm speaking to you. It's very offensive. It's called Bahirmukha. Bahirmukha means you turn your face from the Lord. And then, Sydney. So remain attentive. When you're calling someone, it's like that story of the boy who cried wolf. You know that story? In America we have that story. He went to play and to tease his family members, he's out in the forest. Mommy, Daddy, wolf, wolf, wolf. And they all came running with their spears and their axes and there was no wolf. The boy, he did it a second time. Mommy, Mommy, Daddy, there's a wolf. So they all came running. Ha, 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 ha. And the third time, there was a wolf. Mommy, Mommy, come a wolf. Nobody came. That's what in the Christian Bible they say, don't call out God's name in vain. You have to call with a purpose. One time, a devotee asked Prabhupada, what is the meaning of this Hare Krishna mantra? Okay. So many times Prabhupada said, my dear Lord, my energy, dear Lord, Srimati Radhika, please pick me up from the ocean of death and take me home to the spiritual world where every step is a dance, every word is a song, and there's a festival every day. We're paraphrasing here. But on this occasion, Prabhupada didn't give that explanation of the Maha Mantra. He said, what does it mean, this Maha Mantra? It means, my friend, my friend, my friend. I love that translation because, we can't say we're that intimate with Krishna. But a friend in need is a friend indeed, and Krishna is certainly our friend because whenever we made that cardinal sin of falling down, he came as the super soul in our hearts. Actually, I heard a lecture of Prabhupada last year. He said, when we were leaving the spiritual world, Krishna accompanied us for some distance, begging us, my dear devotee, please don't go. No, I'm going. No, please don't go. I'm going. Brisbane, Adelaide, whatever. So, Lord hears, so the prayer should be as much devotion. It begins with attraction, and then there's some affection, and then there's devotion. We have to be patient. Rupa Goswami mentions in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, devotee has to be patient. Especially here in Kali Yuga, we want to get everything really cheap, really fast. Isn't it? And now you can almost do that. In Vrindavan they have Blinkit. Blinkit is this, you order by phone, and within 10 minutes, whatever you've ordered, they bring it now. How different is that from the Goswamis living 500 years ago, picking some roots and some flowers and having something to eat. Blinkit, it's called. In a blink, you get it. You need a charter, you need a dhoti, you need a pineapple, you need a pen. If you need a kitchen sink, I think it's called Blinkit. So we're used to getting everything very cheap and very fast. Damn cheap, Baba. But no, devotional service takes time because we've been in this material world since time immemorial. So it takes time to get rid of those desires. But it's working. It's working. Even Rupa Goswami says, you may not get pure love of God immediately, but the first result of practicing pure devotional service, not a pure, but practicing it, is that one becomes freed from all material distress. And isn't that a fact when we're chanting? Of course, we have our problems. Everyone has their story, but it's not like the materialistic people whose only solution is suicide. We always have a hope that the future will be very bright in Krishna consciousness, to keep that. So we should learn the prayers, bandhanam, of pure devotees, and say them like they're coming from us. Because acharya means one who shows by example. They don't need to be in this world. They come here to give an example, step by step, how to get out of this material world. So they're praying with these prayers. We are meant to follow them. One time, one of my godbrothers said to Prabhupada, Prabhupada, I want to be just like you. And we all went, no, you can't become like the spiritual master. Prabhupada said, yes, that's the idea. That devotee smiled. I want to be just like you, because acharya. So how do acharyas pray? Twayi me nanyavishaya matir madhupate shukrit. Ratim udba hatha gangavogam udbandati. Kunti Devi. O Lord of Madhu, as the Ganges flows forever to the sea without hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn unto you without being diverted to anyone else. What is that prayer? Let's say it together. O Lord of Madhu, as the Ganges forever flows to the sea without hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn unto you without being diverted to anyone else. Now, let's be honest, we're diverted. We're green mangoes. We at heart we want to be, but old habits die hard. We have some attractions. So we don't want it, so we can pray like that. In front of your deity, O Lord of Madhu, as the Ganges forever flows to the sea without hindrance, let my attraction, me, little old me, be constantly drawn unto you without being diverted to anyone else. And repetition. You make this constant prayer. With lowly, with greed, we have to come to this point. We are finished with this material world, and we want Krishna consciousness. We want so bad it's greed. You'll get lowlium, greed. Like Mother Duck, she's walking with 12 little ducklings, and she finds a piece of bread soaked in milk. Ducks love that. She picks it up to offer it to the ducklings, and they're all quack, 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 quack. Who should you give it to? The duck who's saying, quack, quack, quack! Hare Krishna. So when we chant, not Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. No, but Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. And even if it is imitation, how parents, why do children start walking? They're just imitating their parents. And who cares? But the mother and father, they take great pleasure in those initial imitations. How to speak, how to walk, how to eat. So Krishna sees his devotees. He doesn't just see the pure devotees. I gave the example yesterday. Prabhupada said in one class in Los Angeles that when a new girl, out of curiosity, comes to the temple just to see what it's all about, maybe she saw the Harinam party or she took some prasadam. This is kind of cool. I want to go to the Hare Krishna temple on Watsi, check it out. She walks in. Prabhupada said Radharani notices her. Vrindavaneshwari Srimati Radhi. Vedagupya, hidden in the Vedas because she's so exalted, divine, and full of topmost love for Krishna. It's a very deep subject matter. She sees that bhakti, and she says to her Krishna, Krishna, you see there Watsika Avenue? There's a young girl. Please accept her as your servant. And we're doing the same thing because we're chanting Hare Krishna. Hare is the vocative of Hara, Mother Radharani, Mother Radharani, please engage me in your Krishna service. And there's some devotees who pray to Radharani to be her servants, but that's another subject matter. So we pray to the Lord like he's there, he's a person. Sometimes devotees ask me, Guru Maharaj, what's the most important instruction in deity worship? And if you read the GBC book about, I think it's called Archana Padati, about deity worship, there's so many little details. Smart, I want this, and but I would say the most important instruction in deity worship is to always remember the deity is a person. Then you won't make any mistakes. But what type of Purushatam? Purushatam means the topmost of all male personality. Not Purushadam, like Ravana or Kamsa. Purushatam. You have the Supreme Person, fully conscious. When Prabhupada was installing the little Radha Krishna in Watsika Avenue in 1970 something, not the big deities, but the small ones, he said to the devotees, if you see these deities as brass, they'll remain brass to you forever. But if you worship them according to all the rules and regulations I'm giving you, the proper way, he said this to the green mangoes. He said, one day these deities will speak to you. And that's the faith I have. I've been traveling with deities practically since I joined the movement. I was very attracted to that. They haven't spoken to me yet, but I believe Prabhupada's words one day. So we call out to Krishna with a personal name. If someone says, hey man, get over here. What are you talking about? Hey Krishna Das, please come. It's personal. Everything about devotional service is personal. Hey buddy, No, Hey Govinda, Hey Gopal, Keshava Madhava Dina Dayal. Hey Govinda, Hey Gopal, Keshava Madhava Dina. It's more personal if you call someone's name. So it's the same with Krishna. We call his name, but properly in the mood of devotion, not mechanically. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, finish my rounds. Or not like some people, those Hare Krishnas. That the Bible says don't say that sacred name in vain. Don't misuse it. It's so powerful. Those three words, Hare Krishna and Rama, combined in the form of the Maha Mantra. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in one of his lessons I was reading, the whole of Braj is in the Maha Mantra. Radha, Krishna, the Astasakis, the Manjaris, Govardhan Hill, Varshana, Terkadamba. It's all there. Be careful. It's like fire. Fire can purify or fire can destroy. So you have this ability to get pure love of God, but if like people use God's names, they swear sometimes. I won't say it, but you know what I'm talking about. We have the utmost respect. There's one Gaudiya Vaishnava devotee. He was a disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Very much favorable to ISKCON. Lived in the ISKCON temples, did service, distributed books. Fakir Mohan, and he asked, "Would you like to chant japa with me one day?" So I said, "Yeah, sure." So I came in the morning, about 4:00 in the morning, and he had his japa beads there. He did puja to his japa beads. It took about 20 minutes. And then he started saying or pronouncing prayers to the holy name. That went on for 1 hour. Then finally he picked up his beads and Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Just like you greet the deity. You go before the deity, you prepare yourself, you prepare your consciousness. I'm going to see the Lord. You're saying prayers, and boom, Govinda. So he had that concept with the holy name. The holy name is not different than Krishna. It's many people's deity. I was traveling not long ago with Radhanath Swami, with my deities, Radha Krishna, Nishringadev, Shalagram, Giriraj, and I said to Maharaj, I've been worshiping deities for a long time. I don't see you have any deities. It's one of the 5 angas of devotional service, to worship the deity. You don't worship deities. So Maharaj went like this. He said, Indradyumna Maharaj, this is my deity. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. Kali Kali Nam Rup, Krishna Avatar. In the age of Kali, the name of Krishna is the Avatar. So we don't want to misuse. I'll just finish the day with a nice story in this regard. Once there was an innocent boy, a cowherd boy, a simple cowherd boy, and he walked into a store to purchase something. Now in that store, there were 3 brothers who owned the store. And as the boy came in, seeing he was a simple cowherd boy, one of the brothers said, "Oh, Gopal!" And the boy walked a little further, and another brother called out, winking at the other brothers, "Oh, Madhusudan!" And then when the boy came to the counter with some things, the 3rd brother said, "Oh, Hari!" So the boy was thinking, oh, the owners of this store are very Krishna conscious. Gopal, Madhusudan, Hari. But there was a devious mentality in those 3 men. They were using the name of God in vain. They'd set up this kind of warning system that when someone simple or naive walked into the store, the first brother would say, "Gopal," which meant, here comes a simple cowherd boy. He's not very smart. Let's exploit him. Then the other brother would say, as the boy came in, Madhusudan, or Madhava, the husband of the goddess of fortune, meaning, let's take all his money. The 3rd brother would call out, Hari, it's a name for God. In Sanskrit, it means he who takes everything away. So by calling out Hari, he said, let's take all his money, overcharge him, somehow convince him. So, not like that. We want to chant with love. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. And love will come. It will come. Rupa Goswami takes us a little bit ahead. You know how you speed the video up? So he speeds the video up a little bit for all of us. When he says, what will be the result of this type of chanting? He writes, I do not know how much nectar the 2 syllables, Krishna, have produced. When the holy name of Krishna is chanted, it appears to dance within the mouth. We then desire many, many mouths. When that name enters the holes of the ears, we desire many millions of ears. And when the holy name dances in the courtyard of the heart, it conquers the activities of the mind, and therefore all the senses become inert. So have faith, Shraddha, have faith in these instructions today. Keep to the straight and narrow, follow the rules and regulations. And every day you sit with your japa beads and you're determined, today I will chant better than I did the day before. And say the whole mantra. Prabhupada, my godbrother Pusta Krishna, he was Maharaj. He recently left this world to join Srila Prabhupada, a very wonderful devotee, Pusta Krishna. He was chanting japa with Prabhupada. Can you imagine chanting japa with Prabhupada? What type of sangha is that? And he was chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Prabhupada said, what type of nonsense are you chanting? Like, what? I'm chanting Hare Krishna. No, it's a Rama. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So relish the full embodiment of Krishna in the form of his name. Don't leave anything out. And chant loud enough you can hear yourself. And don't chant too slow, don't chant too fast. Chant so that you hear the syllables, because the art of chanting is just shravanam, it's just hearing. And that mantra will be the source of all your auspiciousness. It will be the source of auspiciousness for the congregation when you come together and you chant all together very loudly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. And then when you take that mantra to the street in the form of Harinam Sankirtan or book distribution or internet preaching or Namhata preaching, all auspiciousness will come and Krishna will appear as you like him. And I know what you like Krishna to appear now. You want him to come into a beautiful temple. You'll establish beautiful deities, and this part of Sydney will become famous for that temple. It all comes from chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Srila Prabhupada ki. Thank you, Hare Krishna.